2, 1. Test 1, 2. Hello, everyone. I'm excited. About the topic for today. Now, why am I excited about the topic for today? Well, let's just say that most of you ask this question over and over and over again. So we're going to dig a little deeper into it today. Now, for those of you that are joining me, say hi, tell me where you're from, say what's up, do whatever you need to do. I want to know that you're out there. Also, you know how the game works today. This is your real estate investing talk for today's market. We are live on Facebook. And if you're watching this live, let me know. If you're coming back and you're watching this later, let me know. Make a comment. Tell me what you need help with. I will promise you that I will answer your question. You can look at all my other my other videos that have been posted on Facebook, and we answer. We talk to you. We see what's going on in the real world. So, be part of what we do right here on the Real Estate Investing Talk Show. Pow, 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 pow. Okay? You never know who's going to join us today. As usual, we have the lovely Jill in the background. Say hi, Jill.
Hi.
Jill. She's here to answer questions. She's here to talk to you guys. She's really here to type as I talk. So just know she's here. If you got questions, if you need help with something and you want to ask me, you need to type it in. If you type your question in, then guess what? If we're live, I'll answer it live. If we're not, we'll come back and answer it. Or we will get you on the phone with one of our student advisors who can absolutely help you and guide you to the answer that you seek. Remember, we will never get ahead if we don't acknowledge, number one, we need help. Number two, we have to ask for that help. And number three, where to ask for that help. Those are the three things that you always got to remember. Number one, we have to acknowledge we need help. Number two, we have to ask for help. And number three, we have to what? Know where to ask for that help. And so that's why we're here. That's why we do this. That's why we come to you all week long with information, training. You name it, we do it. Every Monday, if you're not on our email system, then you probably don't get this. So I encourage you to sign up for our email system. You can find a link probably above this video in the description somewhere, somewhere up here. You can get in part of that. We send out our REI success tip of the week every single Monday. The other thing that we do is we come to you live on Tuesday with our Real Estate Investing Talk Show, and we come to you live on Wednesday with our Dig Deeper book review. Now, with that said, I am sorry about our technical issues last week. So we are going to what? Reintroduce you to this book, The Power of 7 Personal Financial Disciplines. Yes, we're going to redo that one. Even though I got through half the book last week, we're going to go back through that same half again tomorrow, okay? So we're going to get that done for you. Now, like all of you know, like our page, share this stream. It is more important for me, for you to share this stream than it is anything else that you do for me. Why is that? Because the message I'm going to share with you today on money for your business is probably a message that not only you need to hear, but so many other people need to hear, because we're going to talk about the 3 types of income streams that your business needs. We're going to talk about the different money sources that are out there. We're going to talk about where to get this money for your business. So if you are the person that's saying, gosh, I need access to money, then this is the training that you've been looking for, which tells me that you probably know someone else. So remember this. We're also doing our Blog Talk Radio as well, so I'll be talking to it to them. And when we take breaks, to cut in all the commercials that they do and wherever Never Never Land it goes to. I'll be answering your questions on the Facebook live stream. So just remember that. This is for you guys. That's why we do this. Your active participation matters. It matters. Active participation. Give me a thumbs up if you agree. Give me a heart if you love it. Give me a sad face if you don't want to be here anymore. So.
All right, and we're going to go on air in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey, this is Zack Childress, and welcome back to another episode of Real Estate Investing Talk Show for today's real estate market. I'm excited to have you back as a listener. If you have not went back and listened to any of the other radio recorded for our podcast or our blog talk, check out some of our other recorded radio shows and you'll find great information in there. Well, listen, if you're just now tuning in to me and you've never seen me or listened to me before, let me give you a little bit of a rundown. We are your one-stop shop for investing in today's market, information, and direction that you may need. Now, if you're just listening in on the radio or the podcast, you probably might wish that you could ask me questions. And I wish that you could ask me questions too, because I am an active fan of active participation. And so I encourage you, if you're listening, to go check us out on Facebook under our fan page, which is Creative Real Estate Training Academy on Facebook under fan pages. So that's Creative Real Estate Training Academy. Not only can you listen in and watch it, but you can also engage and ask questions, and you can be part of the party. So listen, I get this question all the time. The question is, Zack, where do you get the money for this business? And what business is that? The real estate investing business. Where do people get the money? You know, people say all the time, well, you don't need money to do this business. Well, that's true if you want to focus on like a tier 1 or a tier 2 strategy where you don't have to buy anything, because in tier 1, we're wholesaling, which is basically we're selling our assignable rights to a contract to an end buyer. Same way as tier 2, which is creative financing, which allows us to control real estate without ever purchasing that real estate. So do we need money? No. But now let me help you understand something. Do we need money for marketing? Yes. In most cases we do. Can you start this business without spending money on marketing? Yes. You need to be sourcing free lead types. They are more competitive than paid leads are because lots of people are going after them, like leads on the multiple listing service that you get from your agent. Also like leads on Craigslist that other people are sourcing as well. So it's just more competitive, but you can do it. It might take you a little longer, but you'll get there. So, but when it comes to buying real estate, you do need money if you're going to buy it. Now, do you need your money? No. You don't need your money, okay? So listen up, listen clearly. This show today is all about getting you up, getting you off the couch, getting you into the real estate game, and helping you understand what are you going to be needing when you start this business? What are the 3 types of income streams that your business needs and can create on its own? And we're going to talk about the different money sources and what they really mean to you and what you should be looking for out there in the market. And we're going to wrap up today with where to get the money. And that is what our show today is all about. So I encourage you to be tuned in and be active in taking notes for today, because that, my friend, is the key to your success. So let's jump right in real quick, and then I'm going to cover topic 1. Listen, for all my Facebook viewers that are watching right now, you should be asking questions. This is all about active participation. For all my radio podcast listeners, you got to get on my Facebook stream, guys. You got to. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, if you want more engagement, jump over on Facebook. Go to Creative Real Estate Training Academy on Facebook. Creative Real Estate Training Academy. Get on there. Join us. be part of what we do. We're live right now. Jump over there and join us. Jump on board. Get in the stream. Listen to what we teach. Why? Because I'm out there doing this business every day. I'm out there the one that's putting the deals together. I'm negotiating deals. I'm talking to sellers. I'm talking to buyers. And I'm also making money doing it. So here's the thing. I don't care where you live. What really matters is are you going to put the time in that you need to get your business up and running? See, here, let me say this. Everybody wants to be a millionaire, but not everybody wants to do what you have to do to get a business to produce $1 million a year. See, did you hear that one? Did you catch that one? Did you catch that one? Because here's the thing, you can want it all day long, but if you can't start being ready for it, remember that one? We talked about that in our Dig Deeper book review. If you can't be in the mindset of being ready and actively present in your life and your business, which means you've got to set and build a plan to go after to start achieving the success you want. You know, I remember when I was a kid, I used to always make the joke, well, I'll just learn it through osmosis, right? I'll lay down at night and lay my head on the book and hopefully I'll absorb all the information for the test the next day. Probably why I didn't make it very well through school. And that is a fact to life. You are never going to get out of the rat race if you are not prepared to find a new source of cheese. Remember that book, Who Moved My Cheese? You got to be willing to go out and source new avenues, new resources, new deals, new activity, new networks. And that is part of your process. I can teach you everything in the world, but if you don't get up and do it, I can't help you. And I don't mean that in a negative way. What I mean is that's an accountability process that you have to own, because you will never change your lifestyle or your current position in life if you don't change something about you. Now, don't get me wrong. Not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and some people probably listening to this show or watching me on Facebook Live, you may not want to change. You may not want to be an entrepreneur neither, but you might just enjoy our conversations. You might enjoy listening on how to become a better you. Because ultimately, becoming a better you isn't always about how much money you have. It's about the actions that you take in your life to build a better process for you and yourself. And so you might be an employee at a company and you might love it. You know, you might be in a position where you don't really have a micromanager managing you like crazy. You might be in a position where, you know, it's really relaxed and you have a good time. And you might say to yourself, look, I'm being paid well and, you know, it's not a lot of stress and I like my environment. If that's the case, that's fine. But let me say something to you. It's when you get home. What are you doing when you get home? What are you doing to better your life? What are you doing to have better time with your family and yourself? What are you doing to explore and see new things? What are you doing to educate yourself? Those are the things you have to start thinking about, okay? Not just thinking about those, but putting steps in place to really build off of that. Listen, I know a lot of very intelligent people, when they get home, all they do is watch TV and play video games. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's all about what are you doing to become a better you, right? Become a better you. That's why I say to you guys all the time, I ain't your guru. I'm your coach. You understand? Like, I'm your coach. I'm here to tell you what you're doing wrong and what you need to do right. I'm not your guru. The guru is the one that's going to sit up here and talk about, you know, theories and, you know, what A to B looks like. Not, hey, calling you out and telling you what you got to do extra and telling you what you're doing wrong. That's why you hear me say that all the time. I'm not your guru. I'm your coach. And a good coach is the guy that's going to tell you, look, you're going home and wasting time. You're going home and sitting on the couch and watching the boob tube and doing things that you shouldn't be doing if you want to get to a better place in your life or achieve higher goals. Listen to that. It's about higher goals is what you need to be thinking about. So I share that with you because listen, I can teach you today where all the money's going to come from, but if you're not in the position of getting your life right before you get your money right, it ain't going to matter. So hashtag that out. You got to start getting your life right. That's getting your life right. Then and only then can you start getting your money right. And that, my friend, is a true statement. So with that, let's jump in to the 3 types of income streams. So listen up. Some of you watching right now and listening in are like, man, I need some money. I wish I had some money, man. If I just had money, all my problems would go away. No, it won't. Let me just tell you that right now. No, it won't. Your problems won't go away until you make them go away. Money is just going to exacerbate the whole understanding of problems. You're going to have more problems. How many of you remember the Biggie Smalls song? Is that right? Is that what you call him, Biggie Smalls? Where he said, I don't even know who it is. Either Biggie Smalls or it's 50 Cent or it's Puff Daddy or one of them.
It was Biggie and Puff Daddy.
Biggie and Puff Daddy. And he said, what did he say? The more money, more problems. Love that statement. More money, more problems. You know why you have more problems when you have more money? Because you never fixed your life before you got your money. Right? You never got your life right before you got your money right. And so that is a true statement from someone who never got their life right. So listen to me. Let's get it right, okay? So what are these 3 types of income streams? Well, let's talk about this. Write this down, and I'm going to go through these, and then we're going to take a quick break for the radio show, and then we'll come back to you. But the number one thing you've got to have, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. You got to have startup capital. What is startup capital? Startup capital is the money you need to get your education going and to get your business off the ground and running. It's called startup capital. Every business has to have it, okay? When you're starting a business, there's a few things you got to understand. Number 1, I want to start a business. I got a great idea. But what do I need? Well, I need tools. I need this. I need that. But what's the most important thing that you need besides a desk and a chair and tools? You need education. You need a consultant. You need a coach. You need somebody that's going to help you understand the direction in which you need to go so that you don't fall into the pitfalls and then figure out later that you're stuck. That's the problem with it, right? Is you can't go into a business without understanding that you've got to get the education so that you can make the best approach into the market as possible. It's called startup capital. So where can startup capital be? Because listen, don't run off yet. I haven't ran you off yet. I'll run you off in a minute. But some of you are like, well, I don't have any startup capital. Look, I can feel what you're thinking. Like I know it. Like boom, 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 boom. It comes to me like Johnny Wishbone at night. This is what they're saying. I don't have money. And here's why. Because you're already thinking negative. And let me explain something to you. The longer you think about what you don't have, the longer you're never going to get what you have to have. So you've got to change your mind. You got to start working on getting your life right. And that starts with your mind. So startup capital can come from many different ways. Oh, but Zach, you said I didn't need any money. Listen, I said you didn't need money to buy a house if you did tier 1, tier 2. I didn't say you didn't need money for your business. I said you didn't need money to buy a house. So don't try to come in here and change my words around. But startup capital can come from many different approaches. So look at this. Let's say you're like me and I like you. We're in this business from the very beginning. I had no money, right? I had very poor credit. I had borrowed $200 left of what I had borrowed in my pocket. And I wanted to be in this business. And so I scraped up, what I had on my credit cards. I'll never forget this. When I went and, invested in my first coach, I put it on 5 credit cards. Was I scared? Of course I was scared. I was scared because I didn't know what was going to happen. It was the unknown for me. But it was the best thing I ever did was invest in myself. That has given me the highest yield of return on any investment I have made to date was the money I spent 16 years ago to invest in myself. I have made millions of dollars off of that $35,000 investment. millions of dollars off of that $35,000 investment. You can't touch it. You can't touch it. It's the best investment you'll ever make, okay? So what did I do? I needed to educate myself, right? So I had to go get credit cards. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I did. I got my credit cards and I went and got myself some education and got somebody to hold me accountable so that I could grow my business. Now, that's one way to do it, right? Now, you might say, Zach, none of that's possible for me. I can't even do that. Okay, well then that's why the other startup capital is called wholesaling. So, first type of income that your company needs is startup capital. You can get that through lines of credit, you can get that through business loans, you can get that through personal lines of credit, you can get that through a lot of things. If you don't have the ability for that, then you've got to turn around and start doing tier 1. You've got to start wholesaling to create immediate cash in your business right now so that you have startup funds to do marketing, to hire a consultant, to get educated. So there's a way to do it. You see, I wasn't going to leave you hanging out there. There's a way to do it. Now, the number 2 is operating capital. You've got to have operating capital. You have to. What is operating capital? It's also known as stabilizing capital. This is the second form of capital all companies have to really stabilize their business. Stabilizing capital or operating capital is the capital that comes in every single month consistently. So, what does that mean? That means if you're in the position to go out and buy a bunch of rentals right now, well, you could, and that would create monthly cash flow coming into the company every single month, which stabilizes the company. It now has revenue that it can build a budget off of, and it can stabilize itself. Now, if you're not in a position, see, I got all you guys covered. I know where you're at. If you're not in the position to buy rental properties, then you've got to focus on tier 2, which is controlling real estate without buying it so that you can do like a sandwich lease option or a wrap mortgage so that you can absorb cash flow off of properties that you don't own. That's a tier 2 strategy. So let's back up. So let's say you have no credit cards, you have no credit, you have no ability to borrow money, you are just sitting on the edge of a couch waiting to fall over and hope someone comes to your house one day and finds you, right? If that's the case, then we've got to build quickly. We got to get you out of a rut. We got to get you moving. So you, my friend, your startup capital is tier 1. You got to start wholesaling immediately to create front-end cash so that you can invest in yourself, invest in your business, and grow this thing. To stabilize your business, you got to move right into tier 2 and start controlling real estate without buying it so you can create cash flow. Now I've got you started and I've got you stabilized. Now, what's the third type of income every company has to have? Growth capital. No company will ever grow without an immersion of capital into it so that it can then grow into a different sector, take over market share, double its marketing budget so it can start to grow. Growth capital, my friends, comes from tier 3 investing. This is where you're buying properties, you're fixing them up, and you're selling them for a large profit, anywhere between $20,000 and $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. Those large influx of capital allows you to really grow the business much faster. It allows you to do much more marketing so that you get more leads for the next quarter, so that you can run a business much more successfully. So those are really the 3 types of income streams that all companies must have. But do not allow yourself to believe that you can't get started because you don't have money. I just shared or laid a map out for you to do that. So listen, all my listeners, Real Estate Investing Talk Show for today's market. This is Zack Childress, and we're going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back to you. Facebook! Any questions coming in on Facebook?
No, you got everybody fired up there.
Fired up. Toby, I thought she wasn't going to make it today.
Yeah, she had. I guess she got out of her engagement. But
well,
she says,
welcome to the party, Toby.
She says, Zach, you could never run me away.
Who else has joined us on there?
We have Carly.
Carly.
We have Paris.
Oh, Paris.
Paris said Biggie and P. Diddy.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm trying over here, Paris.
And we've got Susan.
My lovely Susan.
She said she loves it. Her cheese has moved several times.
Oh, I know your cheese has moved. The good thing about you, Susan, is that you know your cheese moves and you start looking for new cheese. Most people don't recognize that their cheese has moved and they sit around waiting on somebody to bring them some new cheese. So that's what I love about you, Susan. And I love some other things about you too, but you know.
She's going to be there.
I know. So, nobody else, no questions on Facebook. This is your time right now. This is your time. Where you at, Facebook? What's going on? You guys, active participation. Ask some questions. So listen, this is what I'm talking about. You guys, I love you for being here, by the way. And, you know, you're always like the early birds. You get on early, you watch these. Everybody else comes back and watches them later. I think the last one we did had over like 4,000 or 5,000 views on it. Mm-hmm. It's pretty crazy. Not as much as my son's video. It seems to be topping the charts right now. I haven't beat that one yet. My son did a video, and I think it was like 14 or 15,000 views on it. That was crazy. So I know, I'm just not as cute as he is.
He's got more hair.
He does have more hair. So this is a funny story. So his school, this is like these are the last 2 weeks of him at his preschool, and then he starts kindergarten. Well, they wanted me to bring in a baby picture of him. So I was digging a baby picture out, and I found one of him as a baby, and his hair's all spiked up. And what's so funny is he still spikes his hair today. So I take it up to the school, and he's in there with his hair spiked up, and I'm like, yep, that's him. And he was like maybe 6 months old or something like that. And his hair's all spiked up. And I'm like, enjoy it while you have it, son. Because it may not be there forever. So,
he has luscious hair.
He has luscious hair. You know, I'm told I have luscious eyelashes.
You do.
Oh, see?
You do. You have nice long ones.
Out of all the compliments in the world, I probably get that compliment. And I'm like, my eyelashes? Like, I don't even look at them. But it's something I guess women do.
Yes, we pay to get them put on.
Mine are just long, and you know, I'll sell them to you.
$50
I'll sell you an eyelash. So, anyways, listen, guys, if you're not at the event, I'm sorry for you. I'm sold out of tickets. I told you we'd be sold out of tickets. But here's what you can do. You can always get on a wait list. You never know. Somebody might say they can't come in the next few days. And if you're close to Charlotte, North Carolina, you might want to hop down. Pick up the phone, dial 707-247-4248. Dial that number. Talk to a student advisor. Oh, by the way, let me ask you guys that are on here with me, how many of you would like me to start taking live calls from you guys on these shows? You get to call in. I'll take your questions right over the phone where everybody can hear us. If you'd like that, let us know. We might integrate that. You might have to be on a wait. You might call in and be busy. But, you know, hey, if you like it, let me know. So, where we at, Jill?
We are going to go back on air and...
Share this stream, by the way. Share the stream.
3, 2...
Hello, Zack Childress, I'm back. Got a little delay there. Hey, listen, welcome back to the Real Estate Investing Talk Show with your host, Zack Childress. And if you are just joining us, today's topic's all about money for your business. And we just went over the first bullet point of today, which was the 3 types of income streams: startup capital, operating capital, also known as stabilizing capital, and growth capital. Those are 3 things we've talked about already. Now what I want to do is I want to move you into the different money sources, okay? Now listen, this isn't, I don't have all day to go over money, but I want to help you guys understand how investors in today's market are going out and doing deals and getting money to buy deals when they don't even have money. I'll give you an example. When I first got started, this is something you should pay attention to. A lot of people say to me, Zack, I would love to work with you. I would love to work with you, but, which by the way, when you say but, you eliminate everything you just said, right? It's like you just erased it right off the sheet of paper. They say, Zach, I'd love to work with you, but I want to take the money I have and I want to invest it in my first deal. Well, listen, I get that. I understand that. You're thinking you want to just jump right into real estate investing. And I can't tell you how proud I am of you to be willing to take that leap of faith, right? You're almost in the hope business. You're like, I've never done it before, but I hope it works out, because I sure would hate to lose this money. So there's this sense of fear of loss that you deal with in both sectors, right? It's, oh, well, if I hire a consultant, and the mindset is well, but what if I don't get what I want out of this? Then you have a fear of loss there. But then there's also another fear of loss, right? Well, what if I take this money and go invest it into a property and I hope that it works out and I get paid on it, but if it doesn't, then I just lost all that money. So there's really two fears of losses that you're dealing with. So here's what I want you to understand. You've got to move into risk management. What is the most practical way that I can eliminate the most fear of loss, right? So let's talk about scenario 2. I'm going to take what money I do have and I'm going to go buy a property with it and hope that it makes money, but I don't have anybody to talk to. I have no one to really guide me down the path of success. Well, the fear of loss is there, but how do I mitigate that fear of loss? Is by getting an expert to help me, getting an expert to guide me down a process. Because let me explain something to you. I hire consultants in my business all the time. I'm in masterminds. I just paid to be in one mastermind. One visit will probably add another $3 million to my bottom line this year. One visit to a mastermind. Because I understand the power of what's called future results. Write that down. The power of future results. See, too many people in life are too focused on what's called immediate gratitude. What can I get right now? What can I get right now? Instead of understanding the investment of the future results, future pacing your business, seeing where I'm going to go with this thing. See, future results are more beneficial to you than immediate needs right now will ever be, because we are in the future right now. Everything I say is in the future. Everything I do is in the future because I'm moving forward. What I do now builds my future momentum. So what I invest in needs to give me the risk management so that I can mitigate the loss of fear by planning for my future. So if I go and buy a property and I hope it works and I'm going to put my money in that is not a future. That's not a future result driven action, right? It's a hope. If I'm able to hire a consultant that's going to stay with me through 1 deal, 2 deals, 3 deals, 4 deals, 5 deals, 6 deals, 7 deals, 8 deals, 9 deals, 10 deals, 11 deals, 20 deals, 30 deals, 40 deals, 50 deals, 60 deals, 70 deals, 100 deals, I am creating future results. I am investing in myself by hiring someone that can lead me down a path for future results, which means that if I go into the first deal and it doesn't work out, I'm not going to freak out because I have someone that's going to help guide me into the second deal and the third deal so that my future results start to compound so that I will make more money in the long run than I would have ever made on my own. See, the worst thing you could do is go at this alone. That's the worst thing. Absolutely the worst thing. So think about that, because the very first deal I ever did, I remember I had someone that asked me if they wanted to really consult and coach me, and I turned them down. And I went into my first rehab deal. Now, this is going to hurt some of you because it really hurt me. I lost $100,000 on that first deal. Oh, right in the heart it went. I lost $100,000 because I did not want to hire someone to help me build my business. And that's really what happened on that deal. And so hindsight's 20/20, and obviously after that I hired coaches all the time to help me. But then listen, there's some of you out there that's done a deal and you've done great things and you've made some success, and you've done another deal and you've made some success. But what you're finding out is you're like, hey, look, I can get a deal and I can make some money. I can get another deal and make some money. But you're just not really scaling that process. You're not really turning one deal every quarter into 5 deals every quarter. Systemizing. That's why we need help. That's why you need a coach and not a guru. I ain't your guru. I'm your coach, right? You need to get that down right now between me and you. I ain't your guru. I am your coach, though. So now let's talk about the different money sources, because if you're going to get out there and start saying, look, I just want to get started. Give me some money sources, Zach. Well, let's talk about them. You've got what's known as traditional financing, which is if you've got a credit score of 640 and higher and got 2 years of tax returns and your DTI doesn't look too damaged, then you can go down to a bank. And the bank is going to talk to you, and they're going to look at your deal, and they're going to look at risk management and where is it located and what's the reality that you're going to get it to perform and make money. At that point, they're typically going to loan you money anywhere between 75 and 90% of the contract price. Listen to that. Not the ARV, but whatever the contract price is. So if you have the contract for $100,000 to buy a house, then they might loan you $75,000 to $90,000 on that property, which means you got to come in with a down payment and you've got to come in with fix-up capital if it's a fix and flip. That's traditional financing. The beauty of it is that it's the lowest interest rate you'll ever pay, anywhere from 4 to 6%. So you need to know that, which is why we want to do that. But sometimes a lot of people can't start there because either they don't have the credit or they don't have the reserves. Now, the other thing that you could also do is, let's say you're the type of person that you might be sitting on a couple $100,000. And if that's you, then you need to know what to do with it. I would encourage you to pick up the phone and call me right now, 707-247-4248. Do that, because if you're sitting on a couple $100,000 that's not making you anything, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. You're so scared to spend that money that it ain't making you nothing because you're afraid to spend it. You just need somebody that can show you a process that will allow you to understand how to take that money and start to double that money every 3 to 4 years. And it's only because of lack of information. So you get the right education, you'll get the right path you want. And someone like you would be somebody I would absolutely want to help, because I know I could turn your business and your life upside down, man, and quickly I could do it, okay? So let's talk about that. So if you are that person and you've got some capital, one of the things you probably want to start looking at is talking to banks about a refinance. How long do you have to be seasoned on the title before you can refinance? That is a powerful play, because it will take you longer to build the cash flow or to get the deals that you want, because you're basically using the same money over and over and over again to buy and then refinance those properties out in 30 days to extract your money. So now you've got your money back, you go buy another one, you refinance, you pull your money out, you go buy another one, you refinance, you pull your money out. So you really have no money in these deals. It's like a no money down type of deal, but you're using upfront funds, whether it's yours or it's borrowed, or if you've compounded it through, lines of credits, business lines of credits, personal lines of credits, however you go after that, that is another way of getting your money sources together. Now, if you don't have any of that, and you're just like trying to figure out how to get started, you would move into a world known as hard money lending. Hard money lending, also known as asset-based lending. And this is a lending company or a lending program where individuals don't care who you are, which is good and bad. The good is if you have bad credit and low income, they don't care. The bad is they don't care. So therefore, they'll take the property if you can't get them paid back. But it's how I started. And it's how a lot of people start. And so these guys are all over the web. You could Google hard money lender, your city, and you'll get a list of them. You could also go to some of our resources like privatemoneyexchange.com/Z Childress. You could check that out. You could go get some funding there. The side to that is that they will lend you money based on the ARV. What is an like the YMCA. It's just a state of mind. I can't even do it. Anyways, the ARV, after repaired value, okay? After repaired value. That's the beauty of an asset-based lender. Is so, for instance, if you're buying it for $100,000, but the ARV is $200,000, then they don't care about the purchase contract. They care about what it's going to sell for once it's fixed up, which is huge when you think about what the banks will do. So most of them will fund anywhere from 65 to 75% of the ARV. So if it's worth $200,000 and they'll fund 75%, then that's roughly $170,000 that they would fund up to for your deal. So if you have it under contract for, let's say, $125,000, then you don't have to come in with any money down. They'll fund you the entire $125,000 to purchase that property. And so now you're able to acquire a property without any money being put down as a down payment. Now, you still have to come up with the fix-up cost in most cases. Now, some of these hard money lenders are moving back into the model where they'll let you wrap the hard money loan into, or the fix and flip funds into the loan, and they pay you in draw. So let's say you've got a $25,000 rehab budget, you're buying it for $125,000, it's worth $200,000, and they loan at 75% ARV. Well, they would loan you up to $175,000. You see how that math just rolls through my head? Like who needs a calculator, right? Boom, 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 boom. It's just like, I dream numbers, guys. I think numbers. I sleep numbers. I eat numbers. I drink numbers. Everything's numbers. Anyways, my ADD kicked in. So it's $175,000 is what they will loan up to. You've got a purchase of $125,000, $25,000 in a remodel. That's $150,000. So some of these guys will say, hey, look, your purchase and your fix-up cost is less than $175,000. We'll fund the whole thing, but the $25,000 we're going to give to you in draws. So it allows you to do an entire deal with no money out of your pocket at all. But you've got to do the work. See, here's the worst thing about this is that you've got to do the work. You can't call one and say, oh, well. You can't call two and say, oh, well. You can't call three and say, oh, well, they said no or they did this. You got to keep dialing. Hard money lenders. The last one here before we take another quick break on the radio show is private investors. I still use private investors till this day. The reason I use private investors because it's a whole different game, and you got to work on your private investor game. You got to start finding people with lots of money, or don't even need a lot, maybe $100, $200, $300, $400, $500,000, not even a lot of money, and that are willing to trust in you and invest in you. And so with private money lenders, for instance, hard money lending, we pay anywhere from 10 to 14% interest rate and 2 to 4 points up front for the loan. Private investors, we pay anywhere from 8 to 10% for the money and no points. So the private lender is kind of right in the middle of a bank and a hard money lender. The beauty of a private lender is they just fund you for the deal. So like my private lenders, let's say I'm paying $125,000 for the deal. I got $25,000 in remodel. I just tell my private lender, hey, I need $150,000, and they just fund it to me. So literally when I close the deal, I leave the attorney's office with a check in my hand for $25,000. So what I do is I go in, I sign all my documents, all my documents are signed, and then the attorney goes, Zach, I don't know how you keep doing this, but here's a check for $25,000 when I buy the house. I'll never forget the Harrisons when I first started buying houses here in Alabama, and I was closing on a house, and I was leaving with checks in my hand, and they were like, how do you keep getting paid on a house as soon as you buy it? Because I'm using private funds, right? Because the private funds are not only allowing me to buy the property, but they're also allowing me to cover my construction costs, and I put it all in one loan. I leave the closing table with a check in hand. That is private investing. That is the direction you want to go. Because now, you're just looking for deals. You got the money, you got what you need. That's different money sources for you, from hard money to banks to even private investors. Now you also got to start thinking about bridge funding, and you also got to think about where you can get that at. There's cool websites out there called prosper.com and lenderlab.com. They can help you with that. I hope that's a good resource for you. I'm going to take a quick break for the radio show right now. And stay tuned. I'll be right back to you for our last topic, where to get this money at. And we'll be right back. Bye now. Facebook. Let me get my stream on here. Let me get my stream on. How many of you guys are sharing my stream right now? You guys need to be sharing the stream. I'm going to start giving away some hats and t-shirts here pretty soon. Hey guys, you stay with me. Tomorrow, I'm going to go over the power of 7 personal financial disciplines. You want to know that. If you're in the type of person that you're like, man, if I could just get my money right, I could get my life right. No, that's not right. You got to get your life right before you start getting your money right. You need to know that one right away. So we're going to talk about that one tomorrow. So be on that. What we got, Jill?
Okay, so we do have some questions.
Okay, what we got?
So Carly, she says, am I better to use cash for a deal or for coaching, and why?
I just talked about that one. You should always be in a better position to know your future progression, right? And if you can hire a coach in your life, I'm going to tell you right now, do it every time. Whether you hire me or you hire Joe Schmo down the road. I would probably hire me, but I'm just saying. You got to hire someone that you can invest in yourself, because they're going to be with you for the long run. They're going to be in the deals with you. They're going to keep you from making a mistake before you go into it. See, the worst thing that can happen is that you go off on your own and you start trying to figure this out by yourself, and you make one mistake that cost you $40,000. It's going to crush you. Where if you can take some of that and then hire a coach with it, you know, hire someone that's already doing it, hire someone that's living it, hire someone that's helped so many other people in their lives, hire someone that's the real deal, hire someone that can get on the phone with you, hire someone that knows what you're trying to go through, that can help you get there. Find that person, because I promise you, most of the time, it's right in front of your face, and you just have to wake up and recognize it. That's the truth. That person is the person that's going to keep you from making mistakes, and in the long run, you'll make more money than you ever would on your own.
That is very true.
Very true. Very true.
From experience, that is very true.
Very true from experience. You hear that? That's the voice in the back that nobody sees.
I'm like the little angel in your ear talking.
That's the voice that nobody, they're like, where'd that voice come from?
Carly also asked, what about transactional capital?
Transactional funding. It's great if you're doing stuff like REOs, or if you're working a short sale. It can be used sometimes in like some finance or some seller financing structures. And that is where you're moving like an A to B, B to C transaction. And you've got A ready to close, but you don't have any funds, but you've already got your C buyer ready to buy. Well, you can step in with transactional funding to close on A, so now you're B, and then turn around and close to C all within the same day. Transactional funding can be expensive. They usually charge 1% to 2% per day. So think about that one. And also, you need to make sure that you're in compliance with any of the regulations. For instance, sometimes when you're dealing with a bank, they want you to season the title for 60 to 90 days before you sell it. Which means, and if you sell it within that time period, you can only earn 20% of profit off the purchase price. So you got to think about that. The other thing you got to think about is, who's the end buyer? Are they getting financing? And if they're getting financing, does their lender restrict them, meaning that you have to have title seasoning before they'll even fund that new buyer to buy that from you? So a lot of things that you got to make sure you're thinking about. Good questions, though.
It was a good question. So, Toby, I'm just going to call her out real quick, because she said, I'm not financially free, and my break is over. So, I have to check out.
Her break is over. We love you anyways, Toby. We'll see you this weekend in Charlotte. No?
You got to call her out on that, too.
Why?
She's not going to make it.
What? Toby? You won a free ticket. You're not coming to the new ticket. There we go. Toby's out. Who's in? Who's in? Where's my tickets at? Oh, there we go. See how fast I replace people? Toby, you can't be getting a ticket. Now I got one ticket left. You should have told me that. I got one ticket. Toby's not coming. Let's go. Who wants a ticket? You guys got to jump on this thing. You got, what's today? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You got 4 days to get your stuff together. 4 days to get to the event. I just opened up a seat. I got somebody not showing up. Excuses. I don't want to hear them. They're not showing up. Get your stuff together. Get in here. Get this last ticket. I just got one that opened up. Got one ticket opened up. Handled that one.
She's gonna be like,
hey man, I'm ready to help whoever wants to show up.
oh, Lord.
Who else do we got? Who else do we got?
It's a pretty quiet day here today.
Pretty quiet day here. Pretty quiet day. All right then. Well, I'm going to move on then.
Do I have anything to say?
A pretty quiet day. I like to say that I have a pretty quiet day going today. A little British, a little English, maybe a little Australian, mate. I just mix them all together, you know.
You should talk like that on Friday.
I should talk like that on Friday.
Or you could
Welcome to the show, everyone. This is Zack Childress. I'd like to welcome you back.
Well, that's good because we're back on air in 3, 2.
Hey, it's Zack Childress, and welcome back to your real estate investing talk show. What works in today's market. Listen, here's where we are today. We're talking about the money for your business, and where we get the money is what we're talking about next. We've already covered the 3 types of income streams and the different money sources. So let's talk about real quick, and I'm going to wrap it up with you guys on the radio show, where to get the money. So let's talk about this. If you are in a need, let me see if I can pull this up. I got it bookmarked somewhere. If you are in the need to find traditional banks, okay? Traditional banks. And why do we want traditional banks? Because we can go after traditional funding. I want you to go to this website, okay? And there's a reason I want you to go to this website. Because it's it's called usbanklocations.com. usbanklocations.com. The reason I want you to go here is because I want you to go in, when you go in there, you want to hit your state banks, and then you want to click on the button that says Bank List, and it's going to list all the banks in your area and how many branches they have. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, find all the banks that have very few branches. These are called starter banks. They're trying to become a big bank, and they put money out like you would not believe. Because the more money they loan out, the more money they can borrow. So get away from the big banks, go for the little banks. Are you with me on that one? Say yes, please.
Yes, please.
All right, that's your first homework assignment right there to get in with that. The next thing where to get the money at is looking for hard money lenders. If you are going after hard money lenders, then you need to start Googling them. You can Google hard money lenders in your market. You'll get them everywhere. Just be careful who you talk to. If they start asking for like bank statements and 2-year tax returns and credit reports, they are not a hard money lender. Let's be very clear. They are a mortgage broker brokering some money from someone, and that's what they're doing. So be careful on that. Asset-based lenders do not care about you. They only care about the asset. You can also go to privatemoneyexchange.com/Z Childress. That'll get you access to our portal if you want to start using funds from our preferred lender that our students use. You can go there as well. Now, private funders. Now, that's a good one because these guys are kind of hidden in the market, but you got to find them. Now, one of the things that we do is if you're one of our coaching or consulting students, or you're thinking about coming on board with us, or you have already engaged in that and we're just getting your paperwork together, then don't worry, my friend, because I'm going to give you a software that all you got to do is put in your state, put in your city, and hit search, and it will pull up every single private investor in your market, And then all you got to do is click a couple of other buttons and we will start sending letters to them for you so that you start building private funding overnight. But that is not something that we sell. And trust me, if I sold it, I would have already sold it to you and you would have already bought it. But we keep it exclusive to our coaching students only. It's something that we give to them so that they have a head start over the rest of the population out there trying to become real estate investors. It's our commitment to them to get them moving faster and keep them safe. I tell people all the time, when people hire me to be a consultant in their business, I tell them, you hired me really for two reasons. You might have 1,001 things you want to learn, but you really hired me for two reasons. Number one is to keep you safe in this journey, and number two is to help you make as much money as possible. That's really the two things you hired me for. You know, people will tell you, yeah, but I want to do this, this, and this. That's all great. That's part of the process. But ultimately, I've got two jobs. Number one is make you as much money as fast as possible. And number two, keep you as safe as possible. It's called risk management. So the other thing I want to help you out with is some bridge funding. You can get you some transactional funding from besttransactionalfunder.com. You can also get yourself some bridge funding for rehab at lenderlab.com. Also prosper.com used to do a bunch of it. I don't know how much more of it they're doing anymore. But Lender Lab, when you go in there, you can go under, I think they lend up to about $30,000. And you can click a button that says Home Remodel. And then they'll start bidding on your loan. So those are all the different ways to get money. So listen to me. Don't ever lie to yourself again and say that you don't have money for your business. I've given you every way to get money. I've told you every way and types of monies that are out there. I've even shared with you the 3 incomes that your company has to create to grow and how to get it and where to get it from. You just need to apply it. I get it. You learned for an hour with me today. You're going to go on about your life and you're going to forget a lot of this. That's why you need to get some long-term support. See, listen to me. I'm going to share this with you before I part ways with you on the radio. You are only going to achieve as much as you know. You can keep seeking information and you will eventually start to grow, and you can read 1,000 books like I have and you'll grow too. And over time you might develop, this sense of reassurance and this sense of confidence, but it's going to take time. That time could be 2, 3, 4, or even 5 years. Or you can say to yourself, I want it right now. I'm willing to invest in myself. I'm willing to take the jump, and I'm willing to do what I need to do to make this happen. And when that day happens, you will find a way to hire a coach or a consultant in your business. Because I'm here to tell you, when you're ready, the coach will appear. He'll be right in front of you. He'll be staring you in the eyes and telling you, let's go. Let's do this. And that, my friend, is what you're looking for. So until next week, for all my listeners out there on the radio show and the podcast, stay positive. Do something every day. Stay engaged and make sure that you know that you can do this. Get the right help, get the right education, and build a business from this. This is Zack Childress with Real Estate Investing Talk Show for today's market, and I will see you again next week at 1:30 Eastern Time Zone. Bye now. Facebook, that's the same message for you. That's the same message. You got to get it right. You got to get focused. You got to realize that you are one step away, really. You're one commitment away. You're one yes away. You are this close to success. But at the end of the day, the only reason that you're not is because you're holding yourself back. Because you have a fear of the unknown, which is stopping you from moving forward, or you have the fear of investing in yourself to get you to that next level. And I'm here to tell you that fear gets eliminated when you have the right team around you. So listen to me when I say that. Find yourself in a position that you know that it is going to get a little scary, but when you've got the right person behind you, you've always got someone to catch you when you fall. And that I share with you today because today is about you getting your stuff in order. Where's the money going to come from? I just gave it to you. So you guys need to be with me tomorrow too, because I've got a pretty cool book I want to review with you. Jill, anything I need to touch on before we part ways with our Facebook fans?
I believe you have everybody mind blown right now.
What?
They're just quiet. There's a lot of people on here, but I think everybody's just like jaw dropping.
They're like, is this real? Is this real? Guys, this is as real as it gets. I ain't your guru, because I'm your coach. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to coach you. But I can only coach you so far on this live stream. You got to call me up, man. 707-247-4248. Take the action. Number 3 things you got to recognize. You know what they are? Number 1, you got to know what? That you need help. Number 2, you got to recognize that you have to ask for the help. And number 3, you got to know where to ask for the help. Where do you ask for the help? Right here. I got you. Right here. That's what we do. We make people successful in life. That's what we do. That's what we're all built around here. There's nothing greater in the world than knowing that you not only helped one person, but you've helped hundreds and hundreds of people in the short age I've been alive and teaching. Love it. Love every single minute of it. And the fact that I actually know who I'm working with. You know, some people out there, they'll help you. But I tell you what, you become a number, right? That's all you are, is a number to them. Not with us. We're your family. We're your extended family. 5F lifestyle. Faith. Family. Freedom. Fitness. Fellowship. Get it down. We got a new website coming up called the5flifestyle.com. It's not up yet, but it's coming. You guys want to check that one out. Early bird preview. Anybody else?
I know. I really think you've got them stumped. Now, for me, though, I will say I have a question for you today.
Well, Jill, what do you got for me today?
Well, the private investors, and this is going to be, I know exactly what you're going to say. Jill, you can...
Don't tell me what I'm going to say. Ask the question.
I know you will.
Ask the question.
How do I network in person to realize who has the money that I'm looking for in a partner to invest with like that?
Good question. So her question is how do I find people and network them in like a face-to-face scenario?
Yes.
It's hard. And the reason being is because there's not like this little group that's advertising publicly, hey, we have a bunch of money, come hang out with us, right?
Why not?
But there actually is a group like that. Just you're not going to see them around your area very often. It's really about understanding professionals and who are your professionals. Like I went to the doctor yesterday, which you guys know I went and got some blood work done. Gotta check that thyroid. But the guy owns the clinic. What do I know he can be right away? A private investor. Did I say anything to him about that on my first visit? No. So when I come back to him, I start talking to him with the intent of his opinion. Not will you loan me money, but hey, look, I've got, you're a smart guy. You're a doctor. You want to practice. I've got some deals that I'm looking at. This is kind of what they do. What kind of advice would you say? Would you think that's a good investment? And if it's a great deal, what are they going to say?
Absolutely.
They're going to say, man, that's a great deal. Where did you get that at? Oh, I find them all the time. Would you, I'd love to talk to you about it, or maybe you might be interested in some of them, or maybe we could do something together. You pull them in through their sense of curiosity. And so you just bait the water with it and you drill them in. That's how I got a lot of my private investors the first time. Chiropractors that I was going to and doctors.
Nice.
Now, there is a place that you can find them all together, and it's the Equity Trust Conference, the etc.com. Equity Trust is the largest custodial in the U.S. that distributes private funds through a self-directed IRA. And so twice a year, they put all their members in one room, and they start trying to tell them, you have to, spend this money, because the equity trust only deploys like 10% of the funds they control.
That's crazy.
It's very crazy. And the other side to that is that equity trust doesn't make money unless they deploy the funds. They make it on like fees and processing and stuff like that. They don't have like interest-bearing accounts on this stuff. So they're trying to get their private investors or their members who have money in a self-directed IRA to use that money. So you can always go to one of those events. And it's a room full of what you're asking for.
So can I have time off?
They're on the weekends. They have them on the weekends, so you're good. So good question, Jill. Oh, Jill piped up where everybody else probably was curious. Where do you find a room full of private investors? There you go, guys. Answer was given. Listen, you guys know I'm here. Active participation is what I look for. I appreciate those of you that shared the stream. I appreciate those of you that gave me thumbs up and hearts and love. I appreciate those of you that had comments to say. And remember, I have one ticket open up on this call. It will be gone, I promise you. Get on this. 707-247-4248. Get your ticket. Get your life right. Zack Childress, I'll see you tomorrow, 1:30 Eastern Time Zone, in our Dig Deeper book review. Bye now. Bye now. Bye now. Bye now.
More money, more problems.
No.
You gotta wrap it.
No. I'm not a rapper.